the channel for games, guides, and glitches. If you're a developer or publisher, feel free to contact me at the email, and to my regular viewers, please remember to subscribe, it really helps me out. Suddenfall here with the guide for Leo and Mia Animal Rescue. This guide will contain glitches, so I will say that early. This guide also contains all collectibles. I will be going through the collectibles as we do the missions, rather than focus on doing the collectibles separately, just to make the game faster. So to begin with, we're going to have a cutscene, and then the tutorial. So here we have to use the commands. This is the options we have. As you can see, I've already muted it. So here we have to approach Leo. And you can change to Leo or Mia whenever you want, just by talking to them. I'm going to play as Mia for this one instead of Leo. So they want you to climb the rock, and then they're going to tell you to use the glider. The glider is going to be the way we get around the most. Using the flowers, if you land on a flower, it will send you into the sky, and then you can glide to said area you need to. So here we'll need to take a photo. If you push RB instead by accident like I did, this will waste an ability that takes a while to reload. You can pretty much take these guys out quite easily with the gun. And then you have to use the baton. The gun and the baton are going to be your two main weapons, because the RB takes forever to reload. So it's more something you'll save for a group. Like so, but I accidentally used it, so we're going to have to do it with the gun, and I'll show you this method, because the gun method with strafing works really well as well. As long as there's no blue enemy around, because the blue enemy will eat up the bees, but that's where we just get distance. So we have to hit RT on the cage 3 times to open it. And I'll show you a fun little glitch if I slide over here quickly before the cutscene. We are in the section to change our looks, as you can see here. And then it teleports us to where we actually start, which is the mission map here. So push X on this, and that'll start the mission. And we can head to the first mission. So with the first mission, we're going to get some collectibles first. Then we're going to do a part of it, do some more collectibles, go back to it, and finish it. So you want to glide over here by jumping on the flower and then using Y for your glider. And you want to drop down in this camp. Now we don't have to do the objective. You just have to break the pinata and then you can take off. If you take off in this direction, we can go on to another flower. And from here we can glide to another spot just in the distance that has another pinata just like this one. We can glide in, take the pinata and leave. We don't have to do the objective. Then we can glide this way. As you can see, there's another flower, and we can head towards the elephants. We will be feeding the elephants, and this will be a thing that we will have to do a couple of times. So you want to go to the bush, just up here, pick up one of the fruits, and throw it at the elephant. Unfortunately with this one you have to actually throw it at the elephants and hit them. They won't accept it if it just lands near them. So then use your glider to go this way. Once we reach the wall, we will get the cutscene with the bad guys. The blue guy, as you can see, he'll eat the bees to prevent you using the bee gun, and the red guy will fire projectiles at you. There's also little blue guys, they lay traps, they're the worst, and ones I recommend getting rid of straight away. So we want to head this way, and you'll see the first photo we need to take of is an albino elephant. So get your camera out, push RT, take the photo, and just behind him at this tree is a piñata, so you can grab that as well, and then we can head back to where the mission is. The other enemies are little yellow ones, they're very easy to get rid of though. You want to pick them off like I am, try not let them group up. With the gun, it has no reload, so we actually have to fire all the ammo if we want to reload it. So it's better to just unload it on the enemies and then keep firing, since we can't just put in a new clip. Once they're taken care of, we can go take care of the red enemy on the left and then the blue enemy here. As you can see, this is what he'll do. He'll suck up the bees. He also has a wind attack, which I'll show you. So that's his actual attack. The way to fight him, a good way, is to fire bees at him so he's collecting them and then using RT to lay into him. It's a little bit harder when there's a group of enemies around, but it's still the best tactic because he won't be attacking you while he's doing that. So here we can release the elephant mother. And here we can do a funny glitch if you come over this way. And we push X. Look, I'm on TV! And we can actually kill this guy. Then we can push X. And there's all the enemies. As I said, the ones you want to deal with the most are the blue ones. They drop traps, and they can get very deadly because they do it so fast, and the traps don't disappear, especially if they do the vine trap. As you can see, those objects there, we can pick them up and throw them at the enemy. This counts as throwing a boulder on them, which will get you an achievement, and you can also just smash them while they're all nearby. This will get you a ton of bees attacking them, so it can be quite handy if it's nearby. So for this part of the mission, we don't have to actually go to the refuge with the elephants. You can just jump on a flower and glide to the refuge and they will teleport there. So there's no need to walk with the animals. This will complete the first mission, so congratulations, and we can begin the second. So for this one we want to do the lion family, and we've just got to jump on the flower and head to the lion's hunting grounds. Once we get there, a cutscene will start, so there's no need to drop down or anything. And then we want to go over here to take out the bad guys. As I said, with the blue guy, when he's surrounded like so, you can still use your B gun. Just use it to sort of disable him, and it'll attack the enemies in front instead. So we have to save all 3 of the lion cubs, and there's an interesting little trick we can do. We don't have to fight the enemies, it just wants us to collect cubs. So grab the cub and then you can leave straight away. So the first cub is up here, and when you see it say 1 of 3, you can just head off. You don't need to fight the enemies. So we can grab another couple of collectibles. So we want to jump on the flower and head to our right, just over here with the glider. And you'll see in the distance an animal just near the tree. That is an albino zebra, and we're going to take a picture of it. From here we can run to the next flower just up here. And we're going to go to area with a piñata. Let's going to come up with a mission objective again. We can ignore it and just get the pinata. And you want to glide away, and we want to go to the middle of this little rock here across the water and climb up that. Will be another pinata. Then we can go across, and you can see it in the distance. There's another animal. That is an albino gazelle. So we can take a photo of the gazelle. From here we can head this way. We're going to go to the flower you can see in the distance, so that way we can go to the rock cliff on the left there and get the pinata. After that we will go to the cub. So we can jump back down and glide over. Again, once we collect it, we can run away. Once we collect him, we can go to the next flower, which is just in the distance there. And we just have to return back to the lions now. Once we return back to the lions, we will have to head back to the refuge. So we drop down here, go to the lions, and now we can go on the flower and return to the refuge. Again, there's no need to stop and fight anything. With the lions returned, we can start the next mission. So for this one, we want to head to the left here, and we're going to get 2 collectibles on our way. Then we're going to get the albino lion, 2 more collectibles, all before we go in the cave. So you want to head this way to this camp. There's going to be a pinata, and then just near the big tree in the distance, there's going to be another pinata behind it. So head this way, and behind this big tree here is another pinata. As you can see, you got to be very careful of your energy in this game. It can be kind of unfair. It runs out very quickly. So here is the albino lion, so we want to take a picture of it. It's a funny looking lion, but hey, the photo worked. So we want to head this way. And we're going to go to the flower, so that way it can get us the 2 pinatas that we have to get, because they're on top of the mountain. So it's easier for us to come over to where the flower is than to try and climb up with the energy that they have placed in this game. So you want to jump on the flower and then glide over. This will land us about halfway, so we want to climb up the rest of the way. Just be careful of your energy. As you can see, you run out fairly quickly. Once you get to the top, we can hit the first pinata. Then we want to wait for our energy so I can glide across to the second mountain over here. And on the top of the second mountain here will be another pinata. As you can see right there. So we just have to climb up to get it. Then we can glide and jump down. So once we get over this here, we can just drop. There'll be 3 enemies. So we want to take them out. You could use a rock to take them out, just to the right there. But I'm saving that achievement for last. As you can see here, the metal we can't break with our button. So you have to pick up a rock and throw it at the metal. So we want to glide over here. And just down here, the cave is another pinata. This is where we're going to be using a glitch, so I'm going to head back up now, back to the entrance of the cave. Getting them caught right here, so that way they don't follow me. And you want to climb up into this corner here, and then from here you can climb the wall and outside the map. So we want to head off to this way, and you want to try and avoid the vines, because if you hit the vines, you will load back up in the area with the vines, and we don't want that yet. We're heading to the boss. Now, fair warning, when we do this bit, if you kill the two enemies and not the boss, then get out of it. You need to make sure that one person is still alive, whether it be the boss or the two enemies. So up here, this guy that's by himself, not the two that are next to each other, this guy here, he is the boss. So you want to fire up at him like so, and you want to try and make sure the bees attack him only. This is why I've gone a little bit further away, because I'm trying to get the bees to mainly go for him. It can be a little bit tricky. If they go for the other two and kill the other two, again, just get out of the glitch and go and fight the boss normally. As long as one person's still alive, this will work. If all three die, the game won't let you continue and you'll have to quit and reload. I'm not sure if he loses health while in his cycling, so that's why I try and wait for it to go down before I fire. And right here, you can see them both floating away, so we know we've done it. And we can glide over here to where the vines are. It'll say, oh, and then take us to the vine area. So from here, we can jump across, and then we can glide into the right here. Landing here. Then we can glide across again. Climb up. Glide again. Climb up. And then we can run past the enemies. You can also glide a little bit if you need to. Stick to the left here, because we need to cross here to get 3 pinatas. So now that we got those 3 pinatas, we can continue. So we want to head to the right here. Just in here will be the last bad guy. As you can see, the red bar there, we're able to quickly finish that guy off, and that finishes the objective. If they're all finished, the objective will basically be frozen, so that's why I warned you to make sure that only one is alive. We want to head this way, and we're going to use the flower we used earlier to get up the mountain, but this time we're going to get up on top of the waterfall in front of us. There is a pinata there, and then we can take a picture of the waterfall. I tried to take a picture of it like so, but that didn't work, so just jump into the water, turn around, and take a picture. This will get you all the photos for the Savvanah area, which is the first area. There are 3 areas in the game, and we will be getting all the photos for all 3, and all the pinatas for all 3. So we want to take out the enemies here, so use your RB, and then focus on going for the blue guys, and the red guys mainly. Once we've done that, we have the gazelles, and we can head back to the flower here. This way we can use that to glide to the refuge. So here we want to start the next mission. So we want to head off this way and jump onto the flower and glide, and we're going to be aiming for a rock in the distance with a pinata on it. If you get too close to the left, you will activate the cutscene with the zebras. I thankfully was able to actually land perfectly and get the pinata before activating the cutscene. Again, try and aim for the blue guys, and then we can just use the gun while strafing. So then we want to use the berry on the zebra. And then we can glide across here. And then we can use the gun on the red enemies to avoid their projectiles. Unfortunately, the distance isn't too great for it, as you can see there. So you want to jump across, and you want to slowly pick them off 2 by 2 because there's not much room here. So with that, we can knock down the rock here, and this will create a path for the zebra. And then before we do the next part for the zebra, we want to get on top of the mountain to our right. So jump up here, glide over here, climb up here. Again, keep an eye on your energy, and then we've got to glide over here, climb up, and you'll see the pinata on this top of this rock. Then we can jump down to here, and we can pick up a rock, and then we can smash the boulder with the rock. Then we're going to get 3 pinatas before we head to the zebra area. So you want to glide over here, and you want to drop down and glide in here. There is a pinata in this rock face. Then we want to come over here and climb up. This is to avoid enemies. And then we can jump up here and glide over to this rock face. This rock face here will have another pinata, as you can see. And then we want to jump over, glide, and go inside this little rock face here, where there's a hidden pinata right here. And now from here we can head over to where the zebras are. And this is where the trap enemies will show up, so you want to try and get rid of them first. Because as you can see, they can throw the vine trap, and it can be pretty deadly and annoying. I'm not sure if it's a bug or not, they throw 3 at a time, but that's what they do. Once that's finished, we can head over here to a flower. You probably saw it earlier, and we can use it to go about halfway. And then we can get on another flower to go the rest of the way to the refuge. The right here is the other flower. So we want to let the energy build up a little bit. And then we can head to the refuge. So we want to hit the map for the last mission. So we want to head to the left here. We're going to get a pinata before we head to the last mission. This pinata is actually in the refuge. So you want to jump on the flower and head back to the way of the refuge. And you want to try and land on the top of this building. As you can see, the pinata is just here. From here we want to head this way, jump on the flower here. then we're going to head to the left where the rock face is that we got that pinata, so we can get the flower on that side, because we need to get onto the top of the mountain here for the pinata, and it won't activate the cutscene doing that, so you don't have to worry about that. So we want to head over here. And we want to head up to the top, to the right here, and you'll see the pinata. So we want to drop down. And now we can take care of the enemies inside. As you can see, the red enemies kind of stick behind the blue enemy if the distance to hitting you is close enough, so the tactic doesn't work as well. So just be aware of how close he is to almost attacking you, and then you can just use the bees still. So we have to free the animals in the cages here, and there's also some pinatas. This way, for example, has a pinata. So once we collect the pinatas inside here, we will get the achievement for collecting all the pinatas in the Savvanah. So to the left here is a wall we can climb, and there is a pinata up here. Then we have to use the glider and glide over here. There will be an enemy and a pinata in here, so we need to kill the enemy anyway. Use the bee gun to kill him because it's just a green enemy. And then we can collect the pinata and head back. Then we can head this way. So I have a tactic for these red enemies. If you come over here, you can draw them closer, and once they're close enough to the barrel of bees, we can hit the barrel of bees to stun them and take them out. One guy wasn't close enough, but it's still a pretty good tactic. And then we can free the animal here. So here we want to try the same tactic. The lock-on, unfortunately though, went for the enemies, but it still worked, and I got them all, so no complaints. So we want to go to the right here, so we can't climb the right wall because it's got slips, so climb the left, jump across, and use the glider if you need to get the pinata. And then we want to run as fast as we can to the bee hive, and you want to hit it, and this will stun all the enemies straight away, and then we can just take them out. Then we want to free the zebra, but before we do that, grab the rock and smash the boulder here. And then you want to climb on top of the slip here, and we can go to the left, and then we want to climb up onto this bigger one. When we do that, the area will disappear, so it gets a little bit iffy here, but you want to glide across and then smash the pinata. That is the last pinata of the Savvanah, so congratulations. And then we can free the zebra like we were planning on and open the door. Now that says take care of the head poacher, we can climb up here. And then we can climb up here. And then you want to turn to the left here, and we want to jump down. Because it says take care of the head poacher, this one we can kill them without having to worry about an objective because we are in the objective. All we're doing is skipping a cutscene and making it so that the enemy is easy to kill. But you just want to keep firing on him until we take him out. And once we've taken him out, we can head this way. And we can head to the flower over here once we're back in the map. And then we can glide to the refuge. So now we can use the building as it's telling you to go to the next area. There are 2 more areas in this game, and then we'll be done with the game. So the next area is the Mangrove Refuge. And again, we'll be doing the same thing, collecting the collectibles as we go with the missions. So here's where I just forget for a second that it's not talking to him that starts a mission, it's going to the map. I do that again just because I'm trying to remember so much. So we want to head over here to the flower, and then from the flower we want to head this direction. And right here will be a pinata we can get. Now for this one we actually do have to stay and clear out the ambush, so just let them build up and then use the RB and then take them out. Sometimes with ambushes, if you don't take them out, the objective will remain and you can't heal because of it. So that's why we take out ambushes. Other times I just ignore it. So we want to head this way and over here. This will be the tricky one to get because it does have trap enemies. As you can see, there's 4 of them and I fell in. But I did get the pinata, so we can head off. You want to head this way. Right, there's the flower. I'm going to be using that to get 2 pinatas that are in an area. But unfortunately there's no flower for us to get out, so we will have to run out. So make sure you have RB ready before doing this. And then you want to drop down in here. You want to get the first pinata on the left. And then the second one on the right. Use RB to distract them all. And head out. You want to head this way. And we want to go down into this water here. And there'll be an albino crocodile. So we want to take a photo of him. It's a good photo if I do say so myself. Then we want to head this way. And we're going to take a photo of an albino flamingo. So right here is the flamingo. And now we can head to the mission. The mission will require us to take a picture of 3 flamingos. I think the albino one counted, I'm not sure because it only actually made me take a picture of 2. As you can see there. So we can head to this cave now. And in this cave will be some enemies and also a pinata. This will be the first vehicle of the game too, which is the boat. I don't particularly like it, so I actually don't use it. The boats in Leo the Firefighter are much better. So we want to take out the enemies here that have spawned. With them all taken care of, we can get on the boat. Then you can get off the boat if you want to do it my way. And we can glide over here and return to the refuge. We don't have to actually drive the boat to the refuge. It's just like the animals. We can go ourselves. This is a bug, by the way, where your character will lean. To fix it, you need to climb something. But I'm just going to ignore it. So we want to head over to the boat ramp. And as you can see here, this will give us the boat. And the flamingo. So now we can head to the next mission. As you can see, the glitch fixed itself during the cutscene, thankfully. We have to head to the turtle area. So we want to get onto the flower again. And then we want to glide this way. I did try to get onto one of these 3 stone faces because all 3 have a pinata, but the cutscene activated it and I was unsuccessful. But that's okay, because we can take out the enemies first. Make sure to take out the trappers first, out of all of them. Then we can collect the pinata that's here. And then we can take out the rest. Save your RB. Because these enemies are very easy, so we can just take them out with the gun and the button. And that'll spawn more, so we want to take out the ones that spawn. And that trapper's annoyingly hiding behind the blue guy on me. Once they're taken care of, we can get the pinatas first. So you want to jump on the flower here, and you want to land on this rock and grab the first pinata. Then we want to jump on the flower again, and we want to head over to this rock using the glider. And we want to use the glider to go over to the 3rd rock, which I originally intended to go to, and get the pinata. Then we can glide this way to where the eggs are, and we can take a photo of the eggs. Now I do have a little trick for this mission. It's one of those missions where they want you to protect the animal until they get to a certain point, but they don't go for the animal, they go for you. So what we can do instead is round them up and then just wait for the turtles to get close to the location, and once they're close enough that they'll activate the cutscene, we take out the enemies. So make sure you herd them like so. They will stop occasionally, so it can be a little bit finicky, as you can see here, to try and get them to all follow you. These all can be taken out with one hit of the RB. As you can see here, there's the turtles, so we're just waiting for them to get to the water. I figured I'd keep close to the turtles just to show you. If we do kill them, more enemies spawn, by the way, I will say that now. So that's why we're not killing them. So once they all stop like so, you can use RB, and this will end the mission. As you can see, the turtles take off. And now we can return to the refuge. So we want to go to the flower. The flower locations in this level in particular are very widespread. That's why we have to return to this one, and then we can glide this way. We're going to go get the albino turtle first before we return to the refuge, and some pinatas. Take a picture of him. Again, another nice picture if I do say so. And then we want to head over this way. You'll see some hippos, and we have to climb the thing in front of us right here. And on the top of this will be another pinata. Just letting my energy refill, and then we can head over this way. Right here will be a camp, and inside the camp to the right container there is a pinata, so we can grab that and then leave. So right here we'll get ambushed, but there is a pinata in the middle of the lake here. Once they're taken care of, we can head over to the left here. And then we can go over to this tree, and just past it in here will be the albino hippo. And from here we can start making our way back to the refuge. So from here we can start the next mission. And this one's the protecting the hippos one, so we want to go to the flower again over here. And then we want to fly over to the left here. You don't want to hit too much right, because if you hit too much right you'll activate the cutscene. We want to go to the left so that way we can get a pinata. We will activate the cutscene, but if you land just here, as you can see the pinata's just there. So you want to climb up and get the pinata here. And then from here we can fly down and get the poachers. I like to stick to this bank here. Because they all spawn on the beach bank kind of area, and to the original spot where they all were gathered. Once those two are taken care of, we can take care of the two blue ones. And then we can glide over and take care of these guys. This will spawn in the next lot, so we can take care of them. And with them done, we can now head back to the refuge. So we want to head this way, and we're going to use that flower again, just so that we can jump up and head to the refuge. Nice and simple mission. So we want to start the next mission, but before we do, we want to come over here and take a picture of the waterfall. And then just behind the waterfall, right in here is a pinata. So that's all the photos of this area done. So congratulations. And then we can head this way to the flower, so we can head to the poacher's hiding place, which is just up on top of this hill. I have to wait for the energy. Like I said, the energy can be quite annoying in this game. We want to grab the pinata, and then we want to head across this bridge. Make sure you stay on the bridge, it's just easier. And then we want to hit this metal here. This metal we can break with just our baton. And then we want to take out the enemies in the area. Save your RB. We can use it a little bit later. Just focus on strafing and using the gun or using your baton for the green guys. So we're going to come this way. And right here we can break this down with our melee. And inside is a pinata. Then we can head this way, and we'll need to fall down a hole. And this is where we can use RB and take out all the enemies. Right here is the pinata too, and then we can head through. So to our left here will be some enemies we can use the gun on. That way we don't activate them all, and we can just pick them off. So now that they're taken care of, we can head over here and we can jump across to this left one, and then from here we can glide to the exit. You want to hit the door with your baton, and then we want to take out these enemies. Surprisingly, I didn't activate the third one until I attacked him. Then we can go around here to collect another pinata. Then when we go around this spot here, we want to group up the enemies because we're going to have a lot of them. And then we're going to use RB. Take out as many as you can and then use the gun to finish them off. So you want to climb to the left here, we can't climb the right. And then once you get high enough, you can go to the right. And then we can land here. You want to glide over here. And inside here will be another pinata. Then we can head back over. And as you can see, we're coming out of the top of the waterfall. So we can just glide to the exit here. And that finishes the mission, and we can start the next one. So this one's a boat mission, but we don't have to use the boat if you don't like the boat. And I'm not going to use the boat, so I'm just letting you aware of that. So we have to both get into the boat, and as you can see, Leo himself has already gone into the boat magically. So to change the objective, we need to get into the boat, and then we can get out of the boat. Then we can get onto the flower, and we can use the glider to head to the next zone. If you use the boat, I will warn you there are a lot of boat enemies, so you will be dealing with them. Once we get here, we can take out the enemies. And up here will be another pinata we can get. I'm just looking for the rest of the enemies because they ran off to attack me, and I'm not sure which way they're coming from. And this will spawn more enemies, as you can see. Group them up and use RB, so that way you can take out as many as possible. So now we have to head to the next zone. So we're going to glide over to here. And we're going to head to where the turtle flower was, which is just up here, so that way we can use that to glide to the next objective. As you can see, it's in a fair part of the way of the map. There will be boats we have to deal with, and the trick is just to strafe. We can try and group them up and use RB. And then we can just use RB. You want to strafe to avoid getting hit by the projectiles, and just let the B gun do its work. Try and not get caught into the crocodiles like I did. Once we take out the last boat, we can head to the next area. And again, that ambush appeared, unfortunately, so I have to take care of that. And for some reason it's bugged out. Not sure why, but that happens sometimes with this game. So we'll just continue on and hope it doesn't affect me. So we want to head this way to where the next zone is. As you can see, there's boats, but we can just bypass them by going over here. And there will be enemies. If you get up on this rock, the enemies won't be able to hit you, and you can just shoot them with the gun. And it's got a good range of distance too. In this spot, we can get the ones in the distance there. Just looking for the last enemy. There he is. And as you can see, climbing something fixes the angle glitch. I'm not sure what else to call it. So we want to head off to where the flower is over here, so that way we can head back to the refuge. And for this one we have to fly near the boat again. So with that we can start the next mission. This is the last mission. So there will be another collectible on top of the cave, but this one's a little bit more tricky to get to than the others. So I want to head off to where the paw print is, that's where the boss is. And on top of it, where those trees are, is a piñata. As you can see, it's a little bit finicky. Like I said, you want to head to the right here instead of trying to climb the rock, because there's a little bit of grooves, and so you can use them to sort of take a breath when your energy is low. Once we get up to the top here, like so, we want to head up, and you'll see the piñata, and we can jump back down. So right here we can take out the enemies once they open the door. I'm using the wall as protection from the firing guys, as you can see. When we kill these two, there will be more that spawn to our right here, and some behind us to our left. And then when we kill this lot, some more will spawn again in those two spots. That's why I was sticking to this spot, so I could take out those two. And then just finish off the rest. And then free the animals. We only have the piñatas that are left inside this cavern, and then this area will be done with the piñatas as well. Make sure you've hit the switch, climb over here, and then we want to use the glider from that spot. Otherwise you might fall in the water, and we can get the piñata. When we kill this lot, more enemies will spawn. So we want to open the gate with RT, and in here we'll have some more enemies. So you want to come up to this wall, and as soon as they spawn, you want to go to the left here and RB. There will be more that spawn, so be ready. Once we've done that, over here we can take out this wall, and there will be a piñata. Then we can head in here, and we can take out these enemies. That was the last pinata, by the way, so congratulations on getting all the pinatas in this area. Over here will be the blue guy, so we'll have to manually take him out. When we do that, more enemies will spawn, and you want to head back to the original area we were in. Because in the original area, it will protect us from the red guys, and it will funnel the green guys. As you can see, because he's hitting the wall, so we don't have to worry about any damage. Then we can use our B to take out the third lot. Once we take out this guy, I will mention early, for the next part, once we've opened the cages, we can attack the boss a little bit early, but you don't want to kill him. You just want to damage his health to make him easier to beat. And a fun little glitch, we can actually take out someone else during the cutscene that's supposed to be there, and they won't be there. So jump up here and start firing. If you do it correctly, the enemies will come over. We don't want to go any closer because we will activate the cutscene. And we can head back. And there's the boss there. He's the purple dinosaur. This guy here we want to take out. He's actually supposed to just be a part of the cutscene, but they gave him a health bar. And he will disappear before you have a chance to actually kill him, which is quite funny. So this gives us another chance to attack the boss who's gone back to his prime position. Once it's low like so, we can head into the cutscene. And as you can see, both of them are not in position, so it's invisible. I thought that was great. And then we can finish off Chike here. And with him dead, that finishes this mission. And we can collect the animals that we need to rescue. And now we can go back to the refuge and head to the third area. Congratulations on finishing 2 of 3 areas. This is where stamina comes into play. Flower close by. It would have been nice if they had left one near the enemy's base, but it is what it is, so we'll just use the glider when we've got the energy. As you can see there, we've done everything, so we can hit X. And we can head to the mountain refuge. So once we load in, we can start the first mission. So we want to jump on the flower, and we're going to do a few things first before we go to the gorillas. One of the things we're going to do first is get the albino vulture. So you want to jump on this flower, and then the next flower. Make sure you have full stamina. And from here we want to fly over to the albino vulture, as you can see right there in the distance. So we can take a picture of him. Then we can head down here. You want to fly to the cave. As you can see, the entrance right there. And and then you can use RB to bash the metal. You have to do this 3 times. Then from here we want to head to the gorillas, and we want to do the berries. We've got to throw them at the gorillas. So grab a berry and throw it at them. I don't know if they can hurt you because I haven't let them hit me once. One of the gorillas got done, I'd say, because he touched a berry on the bush, because it gave me 2 when I only threw 1. But we want to jump on this flower, and then jump on the next one. And we want to let it fall a little bit, and then use our glider just about here. So that way we can glide through here and get a piñata. We will be returning to that flower, because we need to get up to the area at the top to get another piñata. Piñata is near the crate, so I go a little bit too far. Be careful of the trap enemies. Get the piñata and then just leave. Now we can head to where the mission is. We will drop down from a cutscene. So these will be a common occurrence for this level, where we have to go into these like cavern areas and take out the enemies. The best thing to do, so you're not overwhelmed, is to try and take them out slowly. So over here will be the trap ones, so we want to definitely make sure we take those out. Over here I really should have made this enemy come to me, and because of it I actually waste 2 of the bees there. So we want to go up this way and take out these guys. We will have to free the animals once we take out these guys. We want to head this way and free these 2. And we can take out this guy while we're at it. Be careful when trying to swing for the cage when an enemy's around. There's no lock on and the game will auto try and attack the enemy. So over here is a piñata, and then we can fly down and get the last cage, which I deliberately saved right here. And then we can take out the last of the enemies. Be careful when being near the wall. I was trying to strafe and then I decided to melee this guy and got thrown through the wall. So like I said, be careful of that, because you don't want that to happen to you. Thankfully I was able to climb my way back out. So stick to open areas, don't go close to walls. That's my recommendation. As you can see how quickly the trap enemies can really get your health. So now we have to take out the drill. That just means taking out the arms of the drill like so. And once we do that, they want us to take the gorillas back to the refuge. Before we do that, we're going to go onto this flower that we've originally gone onto. Then we want to head off to the right here. You could jump on the other flower, but you'll be able to make it up here still with just D1, so that's why I only use D1. So this is probably the hardest pinata to get. So you have to climb up and try and swing at it, or if you're able to climb up and actually land on the platform. Ignore the enemies. Once you get the pinata, we can continue, and we want to head towards the refuge. Then we can start the next mission. So for this one we have to deal with sick rhinos. So we want to head off to the right here, and there will be an albino gorilla we can take a picture of that's right in here. Then we want to head this way, and we want to pat 2 of the rhinos out of 3. You have to push X on them when you walk up close. You want to jump on both of these flowers and fly over here. This will be an albino rhino, so we want to take a picture of it. And then from here we want to glide into a cave. And from here we want to glide across. And over here near these containers will be a pinata. Then we can come over back where we were. And we can glide down here where there is a cave. We want to pick up the rock, throw it at the boulder, and then we can collect the pinata. Then we want to glide over here. Get the next rhino. And then we just want to take out the enemies that spawn. So now we can jump on the flower. And then we can head to the left here. And we want to go up this pathway. And once we get to the top of it, there will be a pinata for us. right near these 3 vultures. So from there we want to glide over here to another cave. And inside will be a pinata. We just have to drop down and then... And as you can see, the pinata is there. And we want to glide over to the flower again. And then we want to jump on the flower and glide back up to the top of the area we were at. And we want to head over this way. I'm deliberately not using the glider because we will need it in a second. So I'm letting the energy refill. So we want to glide over here. There'll be a cave right here. So we want to make sure we go in here. And as you can see in the distance is a pinata. So we want to jump over and glide, collect the pinata, and then glide back. Then we want to drop down for an albino creature. This is the meerkat. It's a nice photo if I do say so myself. And that'll get you all the photos for this area, completing all photos all together, so congratulations. We want to head over this way. And right here will be a pinata we can get. Now that we've gotten that pinata, we can head back to the refuge. So we want to jump on the flower and we want to head left. So now we have to take care of the poachers. Again, distance is your friend. So make your way slowly in the camp, taking out the enemies from a distance with the bee gun. So once they're taken care of, we want to head this way, and there's a pinata right here. We also do activate the bad guys that are up above, but that's okay. This will spawn more enemies. As you can see, this is what I mean by they can place a lot of traps. Really annoying. so long my RB was back, so I just used that. With that done, the bad guy will show up. So this was me attempting to test a glitch, because if you actually die before the confrontation with Ketchy, when there was just that last lot of enemies, you can kill the enemies that are left and it will count as killing Ketchy, and then you can go to the next objective. So I was hoping by bringing the enemies into the area they would do the same thing without dying, but unfortunately that was not the case. But that's okay, Ketchy isn't too hard to deal with, and I personally didn't want to use that glitch where I had to die. So we'll just take him out the way we're meant to. So with that, we can now destroy the oil drill. And then we can head this way. I need to finish off some of the ambush, so it goes away. And with that, this mission's done. So we can start the next mission. We want to head over to the left here. And we're going to head to the flower that's just right here. And you want to glide over to here where there is a pinata. Then we want to glide over to here where the poacher camp is, and we can fall down. And again, we'll be using distance and the B gun. Distance is our friend. It's good when you can take out all the trap guys. So we can go inside the cave here, there'll be a few enemies, so again we can use distance. Trying not to disturb the blue ones. Once they're taken care of, I can show you a fun little glitch. If you come into the side here, we can take out these two enemies. Then we can go back through. We can also get two enemies here that we actually do have to kill without opening the door. You just have to use your baton through the wall. They can hit you too, so be aware of that. So if you want to destroy the wall, you can. To the left here, we want to destroy this, and there will be a pinata in here. We want to take the enemies that are coming for us. And then we want to slowly take out the enemies here. And then there's some enemies up here. It's a little hard to see them, but they're the trap enemies. There's also one that is a projectile enemy. Once they're taken care of, we can go to the room that we jumped in to kill the bad guys. For what I want to show you is funny. The cutscene without the poachers. And then we can hit the meerkat. We have to hit it 5 times, I believe, to collect the cupcakes. So hit it again. And if you get lucky like I did, it actually got stuck. Not sure why that happened, but I'll take it. Use the glider to catch up to it. Don't try and run and catch up to it. The glider is faster. Once you've hit it 5 times, this is where I had to figure out how to get to it. Thankfully it wasn't too difficult. Jump over like so. Pat the meerkat. And then we can climb up and leave. As you can see, the glider is faster. So if you have to chase the meerkat, use your glider to catch up to him and then drop down and swing straight away. And once we get back to the refuge, this mission will be done. This is again where I forgot I needed to activate the map, just because I'm remembering so much. So this time we have to find 3 vultures. They're all in different spots. So the first one is over here. So use the flower to land here, and then you can pat the vulture. Then we can land on the flower and head to the next one, which is just to the right here. Unfortunately, I was unable to climb up because of the stamina problem. So if that happens to you, the best way is to head over to the flower over here. And then you can land and get the second one. Then we want to head over to the flower in the distance over there. And then we can go and fly to the next one. Just letting my stamina return. And then we can fly over to the third one and pat them. From here we want to go back to the refuge. This has one of my favorite glitches in it that I will show. I don't mind taking a little bit of time out to show you it because it's quite funny. So again, we just want to take the enemies out from a distance. So right here is an enemy behind the cage. Use RB to get the beast to attack him, and then he will come to us. And we can take him out. Use the beast so he doesn't try and attack you. And then just melee him at the cage. This will kill him, and if you watch, he will float away and disappear. There's a reason I'm showing him floating away and disappearing, which you will see in a minute. Now we just want to take out the enemies. There will be another pinata in this area too that we're going to head to. It requires a little bit of jumping and gliding. The timing can be a little bit tricky. But we want to climb up here. And then we want to jump, fall down a little bit, glide, jump, fall down a little bit, glide. And right here is the pinata, so we can grab that. Then we can get the trap enemies from here. Then we can fall down and take out the rest of the enemies. So right here, as you can see, they brought him back in. If you actually glitch into the area, which I will do just to show you, it's a little bit tricky and finicky to do. Thankfully it doesn't take me too long, so it doesn't cut out of this run. He's in a position that makes it harder to show, but you can kick him around. Once I get him out of the area that he's currently in. As you can see, you can melee him and it does no damage because he's dead. He was brought back in by the game for some strange reason. He's the only one where this happens to, but once you get him free of the spot, as you can see, he moves around really far and really fast. So I thought it was really funny. So now I'm just going to get out of here. And there we go. And that's one of my favorite glitches in this game. They can literally make a game out of it. Play soccer with the lizards. And as you can see him in the cutscene there. This will bring a whole heap of bad guys. So we can actually jump onto this container and they can't get us. And then we can just use the B gun on them, making this part very easy. It works with the enemies. The only ones you have to be careful of are the projectile ones. So this time I'm trying to group them up so that way I can RB them since it's blue enemies and the B gun's less effective. So now we can destroy the drill. And now we can return to the refuge. And now we can head to the camp. So we don't have to fight the enemies in this camp. We just have to get the pinata here. And then we can head over here. And there will be a boulder we need to grab and smash to go inside. Then we want to head to the left where there will be another pinata. The reason I mention this is this pinata we need to smash with the boulder and climb up, and it will actually be invisible until you get close enough. Then we want to head to the left here, jump over, and again we can ignore the enemies. We want to smash the boulder again, and then we want to jump over to the right here with the glider to get the pinata. Then you want to glide down here. And then we want to go over here, ignoring the enemies, and smash this. Then we want to hit this to unlock the gate, and then we can get out of here. And we want to go to the left and open this right here. I'm using the bees just to get the enemies off my back. Then once we smash that, we can get the pinata. Then we can jump over and glide this way. The enemies down here we will need to deal with because they can come into the boss room. So we want to come up here, and we want to climb up here, and then we can jump up. And unfortunately I fell down. And this will be your last pinata of the entire game. So congratulations on getting all 3 pinatas from all 3 worlds. And here we just want to take out the enemies. But with that, we can take them out, and now I can rest and let it myself heal just before the boss fight. And we want to take this down. And with that, we want to attack the enemy just so he comes after us. And then we want to go under here. It's very important because we can attack him from here and he can't attack us. Makes the boss fight very easy. As you can see, the health bar in the distance is a little too far, so I'm actually going to come out because he's almost dead anyway. And just finish him off. That finishes the mission. And finishes the game as well. We only have one achievement left if you haven't got it yet, and that's just for picking up a boulder and killing an enemy with it. I wanted to save that as the last achievement. If you already have that achievement, congrats on your 1000 G. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. If like me you haven't got that achievement yet, we can get it very quickly and very easily. We just want to jump on the flower, use the glider to go over here to the original area we were at. Jump on the second flower, and then the third one here. And then fly over to the cave entrance, where we can pick up a boulder and throw it at one of the enemies in this camp. And with that, that completes the game and gets you the King of the Ball for defeating a lizard by throwing a rock at it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.